The military base sprawled across the desert like a metal city. Soldiers moved between buildings with purpose. Machines hummed. Weapons stood ready. This was where Earth showed its strength to the galaxy. Had been a soldier for 12 years. He was not the strongest. He was not the fastest. He had no special genetics. His body was just regular human made tough by training and experience. He came from a small town called Clearwater in Colorado. His father had been a mechanic. His mother had been a teacher. There was nothing special in his family line. The message had come 3 days ago. All soldiers at this base would gather for inspection. An important visitor was coming. A very important visitor. Nobody knew who, but the officers made sure everything was clean and perfect. Cleaned his gear. He polished his boots. He stood straight. Then she arrived. The ship landed at dawn. It was not like Earth ships. It was long and smooth. Its metal reflected light in ways that hurt the eyes. When the door opened, soldiers in strange uniforms came out first. They were tall. Their skin had a blue tint. Their eyes were different. These were not humans. Then she walked out. Princess was not what soldiers expected. She was tall, yes. Her skin was pale and smooth. Her hair was dark like the night sky, but her eyes were kind. That was strange. People expected royalty to look mean or cold. She did not. She looked like she was curious about everything. The commanding officer, general, brought her to the parade ground. 300 soldiers stood in perfect rows. They were the best fighters on Earth. They were chosen for their abilities. Some had genetic changes that made them stronger. Some had technology in their bodies that made them faster. Some had military families that went back many generations. These were the elite. General stood next to Princess. His voice was loud. "Your Highness, these are the soldiers of Earth. These are the strongest warriors we have." Did not speak. She walked slowly along the rows. Her eyes moved from face to face. She was looking for something. The soldiers stood still. They did not move. They did not blink. They had been trained to be perfect. Stood in the third row. He was average height. His face was ordinary. His uniform fit well but did not stand out. He was one of 300 similar faces. He did not think she would even notice him. But kept walking. She came closer to the third row. She was looking at each soldier carefully. Her guards followed her. They carried weapons that did not understand. Then stopped. She was standing directly in front of a training area. Behind the rows of soldiers, 2 soldiers were doing a practice fight. This was not planned. They were just doing routine training while the inspection happened. One was named. He was strong and fast. The other was named Daniel. He was big but slow. Knocked Daniel down. Daniel hit the ground hard. His shoulder was hurt, could see it. Daniel could not get up easily. His arm was not working right. But then something happened, stopped fighting. He did not kick Daniel while he was down. Instead, reached down and helped Daniel up, was supporting his weight, was helping him walk to the medical area. It was just a kind action, nothing special. This happened all the time in training. Soldiers helped each other. But watch this. She watched help Daniel. She watched the way checked to make sure Daniel could walk. She watched the way stayed with him until a medic came. Then's eyes moved across the soldiers. She was looking for someone else. She was looking through the rows. Her eyes went from left to right. Then she stopped. She was looking at. Felt strange. He did not know why. His heart moved faster. She was just looking. He was just standing, but her eyes were on him and he could feel it. Walked toward, the guards walked with her. General followed. The entire parade ground was quiet. 300 soldiers stood silent. Stopped in front of, she was taller than him. She looked down at his face. She said nothing, she just looked. Her eyes were studying him. They were dark and deep. Then she spoke. Her voice was like music. "What is your name?" Did not know protocol. Should he bow? Should he salute? He did what soldiers do. He stood straight and spoke clear. "Collins, Your Highness, from Colorado." Collins repeated his name like she was trying to understand something new. How long have you been a soldier? 12 years, Your Highness. Have you had genetic improvement? No, Your Highness, I am just regular human. Nodded slowly. She looked at his uniform, she looked at his hands, she looked at his eyes, then she looked away and took a step back. General stepped forward. He looked confused. Your Highness, is there something wrong with this soldier? Turned to face the entire parade ground. Her voice was strong. Everyone heard her. I have come to Earth to find a life partner, someone to stand with me in the court, someone to help me rule an empire. I have looked at your soldiers. I have seen your best warriors. I have seen your strongest fighters. She paused. She pointed at, I choose this soldier. Collins, this is the human I want. I will marry him. The parade ground exploded. Soldiers began to talk and shout. Officers rushed forward. General's face turned red. He said, Your Highness, I do not understand. Is a good soldier, but he is not our best. We have stronger soldiers, faster soldiers, better soldiers. Looked at the general. She said, I did not come to find the strongest soldier. Strength I already have. The empire has strength, but I watched your soldiers. I saw something. This man helped an injured soldier. He did not think about advantage. He thought about helping. That is rare. That is what I need. Could not believe this was happening. He was an ordinary soldier. He was not special, but she was selecting him in front of everyone, in front of 300 better soldiers. He did not know what to say. He did not know what to do. So he did what he had always done. He stood straight. He did his job. Walk 2, she reached out and touched his arm. She said, Will you come with me, Collins? Will you leave your planet? Looked at this strange woman from another world. He looked at the Empire ship behind her. He looked at the guards and the impossible situation. Then he said the only thing that made sense. Yes, Your Highness, I will come with you. The princess smiled. Good, we leave in 1 hour. Gather what you need. You will never see Earth the same way again. News spread like fire. Within hours, every news channel on Earth was talking about it. A human soldier, a regular human, selected by an alien princess to be her husband. The human, the one with no special genes, the one from a small town. News networks called it incredible. Political leaders called it a miracle. This marriage would bring Earth into the empire. Trade would follow. Technology would follow. Earth would no longer be alone in the galaxy. Earth would have a place in something bigger. But not everyone was happy. The Council of Elders received the news on the home planet of the Empire. The council was made of old. They had ruled the Empire for thousands of years. They were not pleased. The head of the council was Elder. His voice was cold and sharp. He said, The princess has made a grave mistake. She has selected a common human, a regular animal from a backward world. How can this human stand in the court? How can this human help rule the empire? Another elder named spoke louder. This is a disaster. The princess should select from our own people, of high breeding, with advanced genetics, not some primitive creature from a dying planet. The council voted to summon Princess back to. They said she had to explain her choice. They said the betrothal could not happen without the council's approval. The law was clear. A princess could not marry without permission from the elders. Stood in his barracks room. He had 1 hour to pack everything he owned, 1 hour to leave his life behind. He held a photograph. His mother and father stood in it. They were at his graduation from the academy. They were smiling. Now they did not know that their son was leaving Earth forever. He wrote a letter to his mother. He tried to explain. He tried to make her understand that this was not crazy. This was an opportunity. This was his life changing. He did not know if the words made sense. He folded the letter. He put it in an envelope. He would give it to General to send. The ship left Earth that evening, stood at the window as his planet became smaller and smaller. The blue and white and green colors faded. The stars became clearer. He was leaving everything. The journey took 3 days. During this time, tried to teach about her world. She showed him maps and pictures and videos. She explained the government. She explained the culture. Learned that was a huge empire with thousands of worlds. Billions of people lived under rule. Was the center of everything. She told him about the council. She told him that the elders did not want her to marry him. She said, "They will test you. They will try to make you fail. They think a human cannot be strong enough for the throne." Asked, "Are you sure about this? You can still change your mind. You can pick someone else." Looked at him. Her eyes were serious. She said, "I have lived my entire life watching pick each other. Pick the perfect genes. Pick the perfect bloodline, pick the perfect image, but nobody picked for kindness. Nobody picked for real heart. You showed me something real, I am sure." The ship landed in a huge city. The city was tall buildings that reached up to the sky. The buildings were made of metal that shined like mirrors. Flying vehicles moved through the air like water flowing. Everything was advanced. Everything was perfect. Everything was beautiful. But the people were cold. At the royal palace, the council waited. They stood in a large room with high ceilings, walked in first, walked behind her. He was in a uniform that did not fit right. His clothes were from Earth. His body was human. He looked out of place. Elder spoke first. His voice was harsh. "Princess, you have made a choice that threatens the empire, a choice that brings shame to your bloodline, a choice that weakens us." Stood tall, she said, "I have made a choice that I believe is right. This man has qualities that our empire needs, qualities that we have forgotten." Laughed. It was not a kind laugh. "Qualities? What qualities? This is a primitive human from a backward world. Look at him. He has no genetic improvement. He has no advanced technology in his body. He is nothing." Stepped forward. His voice was calm. He said, "I am not nothing. I am human. I am a soldier. I have trained for 12 years. I have followed orders. I have helped my team. I do not have special genes, but I have something else. I have heart. I have will. I will not fail the princess." The council did not respond to his words. Instead, they gave orders. Would be given a place in the palace, but he would be watched. A formal betrothal ceremony could not happen for 6 weeks. During this time, the council would observe him. They would test him. They would decide if he was worthy. The days on were hard. Everyone at the palace treated like he did not belong. The guards did not respect him. The servants did not help him find his way. When he ate, they watched him like he was an animal eating. When he walked, they pointed and whispered. But did what he always did. He learned. He asked questions about culture. He learned their customs. He practiced their way of speaking. He was not rude. He was not arrogant. He was just a human trying to understand a new world. Spent time with him. She showed him the palace gardens. She explained the political system. She talked about her dreams for the empire. She wanted to make changes. She wanted to make the less focused on genetics and power. She wanted to bring more humanity to the rule. One evening asked her, "Why do they hate me so much? What did I do wrong?" Sat beside him, she said, "They do not hate you, they fear you. They fear that I might change the way things work. They fear that a human might bring new ideas. They fear anything they do not understand." Nodded, he said, "Then I will show them that I am not dangerous. I will show them that humans can fit into their world." But looked at him seriously. She said, "No, do not try to fit into their world. Show them your world. Show them what humans are. Show them why I chose you." Week after week passed. The council continued to watch and judge, but slowly some things changed. Some younger began to see differently. They were curious. They asked him questions about Earth. They asked him about human culture. They asked him about his family. Answered all their questions. He was honest. He was not trying to impress anyone. He was just being himself, and being himself started to matter. The threat came 3 weeks before the betrothal ceremony. It was small at first. A guard noticed something strange. Then another guard noticed something. Then security found evidence of a plot. Someone wanted dead. The council members called a meeting. They did not tell or what was happening. They just increased the guards around them. They made new rules about where could go. They took away his freedom. But information leaked. Palace workers talked. News traveled through the castle halls. By the evening and knew. There was an assassination plot. Someone wanted to kill before he could marry the princess. Was angry, she went to the council and demanded answers. She said, "Who is doing this? Who wants to murder this man?" Elder looked at her without emotion. He said, "There are many in the empire who do not want this marriage, many who see it as a threat. We are investigating." But knew the truth. She knew that some council members had ordered the killing. They wanted gone. They wanted to pick someone else. They wanted the old ways to continue. That night came to her room. She was scared. It was the first time had seen her show real fear. She said, "We need to leave. We need to escape." Said, "No, if we run it proves they are right. It proves I am weak. It proves I cannot handle this empire. We stay. We face this." Looked at him like he was crazy. She said, "They will kill you." Said, "Then I will die as a human. I will not die as a coward running away." The security chief, unnamed, told them about the plan. The assassination would happen at the public event. A celebration was planned. All the important people of the empire would be there. The princess would make an announcement about the betrothal, would stand beside her. That was when the assassin would strike. The day of the event came. The huge hall was decorated with lights and banners. Thousands came to see the princess and the human she had chosen. The crowd was excited and nervous. Everyone wanted to see if the marriage would really happen. Stood backstage, he wore a formal suit. It was style but made for his human body. He looked nothing like the soldiers around him, but he looked strong. He looked ready. Came to him, she hugged him. She said, "If you die today, I will kill every council member myself." Laughed, he said, "Then I will not die today." The doors opened and walked out together. The crowd was loud. Cameras pointed at them. Everyone was watching. They walked to the center of the stage, prepared to speak. Stood beside her. He scanned the crowd. He was watching. He was alert. Even in a suit and tie, he was still a soldier. The assassin was in the crowd. His name did not matter. He was from another species. His skin was gray. His eyes were cold. He had been trained to kill. He had killed hundreds of times. This would be easy. He pulled a weapon from inside his coat. The weapon was not loud. It was silent. It would send a beam of energy, would fall. The crowd would panic. The assassin would disappear in the chaos. But saw the weapon. It was just a movement, just the lifting of an arm in the crowd, but was trained to see danger. His body moved before his mind understood. He pushed down, he pulled her away. The energy beam shot past them and hit the wall. Sparks flew. The crowd screamed. The assassin ran. He pushed through the crowd. He came toward and grabbed his hand. He said, "Stay behind me." The assassin was fast. He was strong. He had killed experienced warriors, was just a human. This should not be a fair fight, but fights are not always fair. The assassin attacked. His movements were perfect. They were trained and deadly, did not have the speed to block all of them. One punch hit his shoulder. One kick hit his ribs, felt pain. But had something the assassin did not have, had desperation, had will, had someone he needed to protect. When the assassin came at him again, did not try to block perfectly. Instead, he grabbed the arm. He twisted. He used the assassin's own power against him. The assassin fell, hit him, not perfectly, not with great technique, but with enough force to make the assassin stop. Then did something amazing. She jumped into the fight. She had weapons training. She moved like a dancer. She attacked the assassin from behind. Together, she brought the assassin down. Guards rushed in. They took the assassin away. The crowd was shocked. The human and the princess had fought together. They had protected each other. The human had not been weak. The human had been brave. The truth came out quickly. The council members who had ordered the killing were arrested. They tried to deny it, But there was proof, messages, money, orders. The conspiracy was exposed. Elder was brought before the princess, stood in front of him. Her voice was cold. She said, "You tried to murder the man I love. You tried to stop me from choosing my own future. For this, you are removed from the council." Said, "You are making a mistake. This human will destroy everything." Said, "No, you were the mistake. You cannot see beyond genetics and power. You cannot see real strength. This man showed me today what humans are capable of. He showed bravery. He showed loyalty. He showed heart. Those are things we need." Stood beside, he was hurt. His shoulder was bruised, his ribs ached, but he stood tall. The event was over, but everything had changed. The assassination attempt had proven something to the Empire. This human was not weak. This human was not afraid. This human was worthy. The betrothal ceremony was scheduled for 2 weeks later. The council did not try to stop it. They did not try to delay it. They knew they had lost. That night and sat together in the palace garden, said, "Thank you for fighting." Said, "Thank you for fighting with me. We are a team." Smiled, she said, "Yes, we are a team, and nothing is going to stop us now." The new council wanted proof. They wanted to see if was truly worthy of the throne. The council members who had tried to kill him were gone, but others remained. These new members were not trying to destroy, they were trying to understand him. They created something called the Trials of Wisdom and Strength. It was an ancient test. For thousands of years, heirs had taken this test. Every member of the royal family had to pass it. If wanted to marry and stand in the palace, he had to take it too. The trials would last for 15 days. There were 5 different tests. Each test would measure something different. Each test was designed to break people. No human had ever taken the trials. No human had ever passed them. The first trial was called the Trial of Speed, had to race against a champion named Vex. The course was 5 miles. It went through the mountains. It went through forests. It was dangerous and hard. When the test started, Vex was immediately faster. Vex ran like wind. His legs moved in a way that human legs could not. He was ahead within the first mile, was breathing hard. His heart was pounding. He was falling behind. But did not stop. He kept running. He ran mile after mile. Vex was ahead but was still moving. His human legs were not as fast, but they were strong. They would not quit. Vex won the race. He finished first by a large amount, came in 4th out of 6 racers. He was the slowest, but he finished. He did not collapse. He did not give up. The judges noted this. Speed was not strength, but determination was. The second trial was the trial of combat. Had to fight 3 different warriors. Each fight lasted until one person could not continue. The warriors were stronger. They had better training. They were faster. The first fight lost quickly. The warrior threw him down and pinned him, tapped out in 4 minutes. The second fight lasted 7 minutes. He learned from the first fight. He understood the warrior's movement, but he still lost. He was pushed into the floor and could not get up. The third fight lasted 10 minutes. He had a strategy now. He understood how moved. He used their power against them. He avoided their strikes. He attacked their weak points. He almost won. But in the end, size and strength won. The warrior defeated him. The judges looked at each other, was not winning fights, but he was learning. He was adapting. Each fight lasted longer than the last. The third trial was the trial of mind. Had to solve a complex puzzle. The puzzle was made of shapes and numbers and symbols. He had 1 hour. The first to try solved it in 20 minutes. The second solved it in 30 minutes. Looked at the puzzle for a long time. He did not understand it the way he understood it. His brain worked differently. His logic was different. But approached it from a different angle. He looked for patterns that might miss. He used human intuition. He used human creativity. After 45 minutes, he solved it. The judges were surprised. Had not solved it the fastest way, but he had solved it. He had used a completely different method than They had not seen this approach before. The fourth trial was the trial of justice. The judges presented a difficult situation. A commander had stolen resources from a colony. The colony people were suffering. The commander said he was using the resources to protect the empire. What should the punishment be? The first judge said the commander should be removed from duty for 1 year. The second judge said the commander should be executed. His crime was too great. Then spoke. He said the commander broke the law. He stole from people who needed help. This is wrong, but I would talk to him first. I would ask why he felt he needed to steal. Maybe he was following bad orders. Maybe he thought he was helping. Maybe the system itself is wrong. If he is truly a good leader who made a mistake, then remove him from that position. Give him a different job where he cannot steal. But if he is truly corrupt, then execute him. Either way, help the colony. Give them what they lost. Fix the system so this cannot happen again. The judges looked at carefully. His answer was not the quick answer. His answer was not the simple answer. But his answer had something the answers did not have. His answer had compassion. His answer tried to help everyone. His answer thought about fixing the problem, not just punishing the criminal. The final trial was the trial of truth. This was the hardest test. Had to sit in front of the entire council. He had to answer questions. There was a machine that would detect lies. If he lied even once, he would fail. The council asked him hard questions. Do you love Princess? Said, yes, I love her. Are you afraid of this throne? Said, yes, I am terrified. I do not know if I can do this job well. Do you think you are better than? Said, no. I think have abilities I do not have, but I think humans have something too. I think we have something worth learning from. Would you protect with your life? Said yes, without hesitation. Would you protect the empire? Paused. This was a hard question. Finally he said, I would try, but my first loyalty is to, the empire is second. The council expected him to say the empire came first. But the machine confirmed that was telling the truth. He was being honest. He was not lying to impress them. When the trials were done, the council counted the results. Had not won any test. He had not been the fastest or the strongest. He had not been perfect. But he had passed. He had shown growth and learning. He had shown wisdom. He had shown heart. He had shown honesty. The head of the council, a woman named Lyra, announced the results to the people of. She said, Collins has taken the trials of wisdom and strength. He did not win every test, but he passed the tests that matter. He showed that he is worthy. He showed that a human can stand in the palace. He showed that strength is not just genetics. Strength is character. Strength is will. Strength is heart. The people of cheered. They had watched all the trials on screens. They had seen struggle and learn and grow. They had seen him be honest about his fear. They had seen him try again and again. The betrothal ceremony was now only 3 days away and stood on the palace balcony. They looked out at the city. The city was beautiful. The lights were coming on for the evening. Said, I did it. Said, you did more than that. You changed them. They do not see you as weak anymore. They see you as someone who is strong in a different way. Said, what happens after the ceremony? What happens to us? Took his hand. She said, we build a new empire together. The ceremony was set for sunrise. It would be held in the Grand Cathedral of. The cathedral was the oldest building on the planet. It had stood for 10,000 years. Every royal betrothal had happened in this place. Woke before dawn. He could not sleep. He put on the formal suit that the palace had prepared for him. It was made from a fabric he did not recognize. The fabric seemed to change color in different light. It was gray and silver and blue all at once. The suit fit perfectly now. The tailors had adjusted it many times. He looked in the mirror. He was still human. He was still the same person from Colorado, but everything around him was different. His world had changed completely. A knock came at his door. It was. She was wearing a dress made of white material that shined like stars. Her hair was braided with golden thread. She was the most beautiful thing had ever seen. She said, "Are you ready?" Said, "No, but let's do it anyway." They walked together through the palace halls. Guards and servants lined the path. They all watched as the princess and the human walked toward the cathedral. People whispered. Some smiled. Some still looked uncertain. The cathedral was huge. The ceiling was so high that clouds seemed to form inside. The walls were carved with images from history. Thousands of people sat in rows. All of them had come to witness this moment, this betrothal between a human and a princess, this moment that would change the empire. The council sat at the front. Even Elder's successor was there. The music started. It was unlike any music had heard before. It made him feel things. It made him want to cry and smile at the same time. And walked down the center of the cathedral. Their hands were together. They moved slowly. They moved with purpose. At the altar, the chief elder waited. Her name was Lyra. She was the same one who had announced that passed the trials. She was old. She had been in the council for 60 years. She was respected and feared. Lyra looked at and she said, "We are gathered here to witness the betrothal of Princess and Collins. This is a union between two worlds. This is a union between different peoples. This betrothal will bind them together. Does the princess accept this union?" Said, "I do." Lyra said, "Does the human accept this union?" Said, "I do." Lyra said, "Then we must speak the words of bonding. The couple must declare their commitment. Princess, you will speak first." Stepped forward. She was not nervous. She had prepared words. She had practiced what she would say. "I choose you from all the people in the empire. I choose you because you see the good in people. I choose you because you are brave when you are scared. I choose you because you are real. You do not pretend. You do not lie. You are honest and true. I promise to stand beside you. I promise to protect you. I promise to build a new empire with you, an empire that values compassion as much as power." The cathedral was silent. Everyone was listening. Everyone was moved by her words. Then it was turn to speak. He had not prepared anything. He did not have fancy words prepared, but he had something else. He had his heart. He spoke slowly. His words came through a translator so they could understand. "I come from a small town. I come from a regular family. I never thought I would leave Earth. I never thought I would stand in a palace. I never thought I would marry a princess. But then you looked at me. You saw something in me that I did not see in myself. You saw strength where I saw weakness. You saw kindness and called it important. I do not know if I can be the partner you deserve. I do not know if I can help you rule an empire, but I promise you this. I will try every single day. I will protect you from danger. I will protect you from loneliness. I will stand beside you when the empire doubts you. I will be honest when you need honesty. I will be kind when you need kindness. I will love you with all the strength that humans have. And humans have strength. We have strength that shows up quietly. We have strength that comes from the heart. I will give you all of mine." The cathedral erupted. The people stood up. They applauded. Even the council members stood. Even the people who had doubted now saw something in him that they respected. He was nada, but he was brave. He was true. He was worthy. Lyra stepped forward. She took a device from the altar. The device had a soft light. She touched the light to his forehead. A mark appeared. It was a circle with lines through it. It was the mark of the royal family. Had received the same mark when she was born. Now had it too. Lyra said, "Collins is now bound to the throne. He is now part of the royal family. He is now a member of the empire. From this moment forward, his fate is tied to ours." The people cheered again. After the ceremony, there was a celebration. People came to congratulate, and some came because they had to. Some came because they wanted to. Some came because they were curious about the human who had married their princess. Shook many hands. He answered many questions. He stayed humble. He stayed real. People began to see that this was not a joke. This was not an error. This was real. that night and went to the palace balcony. They looked out at the city of. The lights were brilliant. The buildings reached into the sky. The city was alive and beautiful. Said, I have been thinking about changes. The empire is too focused on genetics and power. We need to change that. We need to teach people about compassion and connection. We need to learn from humans. We need to learn that strength comes in many forms. Said, that is a big change. The council might resist. Said, the council will listen because I am the heir to the throne. But more than that, they will listen because you have shown them something. You have shown them that different is not bad. You have shown them that humans are not primitive. You have shown them that there is strength in kindness. Said, do you think we can actually change an empire? Smiled, she said, I think we can. Empires are built on what people believe. What people believe can change. We changed people's beliefs. We showed them something new. Now together we will build an empire that is better. An empire that values humans and equally. An empire that understands that true power comes from unity, not from domination. Thought about his mother and father back on Earth. He thought about his small town. He thought about General and the parade ground. He thought about how far he had come. He said, when the time comes, I want to send a message to Earth. I want to tell humans that they matter. I want to tell them that humans can stand beside anyone. Humans can be strong in ways that other species will never understand. I want to tell them that a regular soldier from Colorado can change the galaxy. Took his hand. She said, yes, we will tell them together. We will show them that humanity is not something to be ashamed of. Humanity is something to be celebrated. They stood together on the balcony. The night was warm. The stars were shining. Two people from two different worlds stood together and looked toward the future. Thought about how his life had changed. He thought about the choice that had made on that desert base. He thought about the path that had led him here. He understood now that his ordinariness was not a weakness. It was his strength. His humanity was not something less. It was something more. Behind them in the palace, the empire began to change. Slowly, new ideas started to spread. Slowly, people began to see that other ways of being were possible. Slowly, the empire became something different, something better. And it had all started because one princess had looked at a regular human soldier and seen something worth choosing. She had seen strength where others saw weakness. She had seen value where others saw nothing. The story of and would be told for thousands of years. It would be a story about how one choice can change everything. It would be a story about how humanity matters. It would be a story about how real strength comes from the heart. On Earth, in a small town called Clearwater, his mother received a message from her son. It came from across the galaxy. It came from the Empire. She read it. She cried. Her son had found his place in the universe, and he had changed the universe by being himself. The end.